That little jar of vinegar sitting in your pantry, it's about to do more for your home than any $20 spray ever will. I'm going to walk you through 7 Amish-inspired ways to make your house smell genuinely fresh and clean using stuff you already own. I'm the accidental cleaning expert who honestly can't stand cleaning, which is exactly why I've tested every shortcut, every old school trick, and every homemade air freshener until I found the ones that actually work the first time. And stick around to the end because the last one is the trick the Amish have been quietly using for generations, and it's the one I now use in every single room of my house. Let's start with number 1, the simmer pot, but not the cinnamon and orange peel version you've seen 100 times. The Amish version is sharper, cleaner, and lasts longer. You take a small saucepan, fill it halfway with water, and add 1 whole lemon slice thin, 1 sprig of fresh rosemary, and 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Bring it to a gentle simmer, then drop the heat to the lowest setting and let it go for 2 to 3 hours, topping off the water as it evaporates. Here's why this beats a candle. The steam carries the citrus oils into every corner of your home, including the curtains and upholstery that hold odors. Lemon contains D-limonene, the same compound used in commercial degreasers, and when it's airborne, it actually neutralizes cooking smells instead of just covering them. But simmer pots only work while you're home, so let's talk about something that works around the clock. Number 2 is the baking soda jar, and I'm begging you to stop just sticking an open box in your fridge. Take a small mason jar, fill it 3/4 full with baking soda, add 15 drops of lavender essential oil and 10 drops of lemon, then cover the top with a piece of breathable fabric and secure it with a rubber band or the ring of the lid. Set one in every room. Bathroom, bedroom, living room, near the trash can, inside the linen closet. Baking soda has a pH of about 9, which means it chemically neutralizes acidic odor molecules like sweat, sour milk, and mildew instead of just masking them. The fabric top lets the scent breathe out slowly, so 1 jar lasts about 30 days. Give it a shake once a week to refresh it. So that handles passive freshening, but what about the rooms that always smell stale, no matter what you do? Number 3 is the vinegar bowl trick. And I know, vinegar, the smell, just hear me out. If you've ever burned popcorn, fried fish, or had a house guest who smokes, you know that smell sinks into everything. Pour 1 cup of plain white vinegar into a shallow bowl and leave it on the counter overnight in the affected room. By morning, the smell is gone, and so is the vinegar smell. Vinegar's acetic acid bonds with the alkaline odor molecules floating in the air and pulls them down. It's the same reason restaurants keep open containers of it in the kitchen overnight. If you want to speed it up, warm the vinegar first and add a few slices of lemon. But here's a warning I have to give you, because this one trips people up. Number 4 is the hack I need you to stop doing, which is spraying Febreze on a smelly couch or carpet and calling it done. Febreze works by trapping odor molecules in a ring-shaped sugar called cyclodextrin, but the second it dries, those molecules can release again, especially in humid weather. So that fresh couch smells funky again by Thursday. Instead, sprinkle dry baking soda generously across the fabric, let it sit for at least 4 hours, ideally overnight, then vacuum it up slowly. The baking soda absorbs the odor at the source, in the fibers, not just in the air above them. It's the difference between covering a stain and actually removing it. Now let's get into the one most people have never heard of. Number 5 is the dryer sheet vent trick, and this one is genius in its simplicity. Take 1 dryer sheet, the cheaper the better honestly, and tuck it behind the grate of any return air vent in your home. Every time your heat or AC kicks on, air pulls through that vent and carries the scent into every room connected to the system. 1 dryer sheet freshens an entire floor for about 2 weeks. Just don't put it on a supply vent where air blows out, because it needs the suction of a return to work, and never put it anywhere it could block airflow to the furnace itself. If you want the full list of safe placements and my favorite tested recipes for room sprays, simmer blends, and absorber jars, I keep them all in one place in my free newsletter, links right below this video. Okay, 2 more to go, and they're the best ones. Number 6 is the cedar and clove sachet, straight from Amish linen closets. Take a small muslin bag or even a clean sock, fill it with 2 tablespoons of cedar shavings, 1 tablespoon of whole cloves, and 1 dried bay leaf. Tie it shut and tuck one into every drawer, closet, and linen shelf. Cedar contains natural compounds called thujone and cedrol that repel moths and absorb moisture, while cloves contain eugenol, a powerful antimicrobial that prevents the musty smell that comes from fabric sitting too long. Your towels, your sheets, your sweaters, everything comes out smelling like a clean wood cabin instead of a stuffy closet. These sachets last about 3 months, and you can refresh them with 2 drops of cedarwood oil when they start to fade. But the very best one, the one I promised you at the top, is next. Number 7 is the activated charcoal bowl, and this is the trick the Amish have used in cellars and pantries for over a century, long before anyone was selling it in fancy linen bags at the home store. Get a small bowl of activated charcoal. The kind sold for aquariums or air purifiers works perfectly and costs about $5 for a bag that'll last you a year. Place 1 bowl in your bathroom, 1 near the cat litter, 1 in the basement, and 1 inside your fridge. Activated charcoal has a surface area of around 3,000 square meters per gram because of microscopic pores all through it, and those pores trap odor molecules, moisture, and even some airborne chemicals like a magnet. Unlike baking soda, which neutralizes, charcoal actually absorbs and holds onto the bad stuff. And here's the part nobody tells you. You can recharge it once a month. Set the bowl outside in direct sunlight for 2 hours, and the UV light releases the trapped molecules and resets the charcoal. 1 bag, refreshed monthly, can freshen your entire home for an entire year for less than the cost of 2 candles. That's why I can't believe more people don't know about it. So now you've got 7 ways to make your home actually smell clean, not perfumed, not masked, but genuinely fresh, using things that cost almost nothing and take almost no time. Which one of these are you trying first? The simmer pot, the dryer sheet vent trick, or the charcoal bowl? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. And if you like these old school freshening tricks, you're going to love what baking soda can do beyond just absorbing odors. I've got a whole video on 12 surprising baking soda uses right here, and it pairs perfectly with what you just learned. Subscribe if you want to clean smarter instead of harder, and I'll see you in the next one. Before you click away though, I want to give you a few more layers to all of this, because the truth is, the Amish approach to a fresh smelling home isn't really about 7 tricks or 12 hacks or any specific list at all. It's about a way of thinking that we've completely lost in modern households, and once you understand it, you'll never look at a scented candle the same way again. So stick with me for a few more minutes, because what I'm about to share might be the most useful part of this entire video. Let's talk about something the Amish have understood for over 300 years, ever since their ancestors arrived in Pennsylvania in the early 1700s, settling first in Lancaster County around 1730 under the leadership of Jacob Hochstetler and other early bishops. These were people who built homes without electricity, without synthetic materials, without any of the chemical conveniences we take for granted. And yet visitors who tour Amish farmsteads today consistently say the same thing. The houses smell incredible, not perfumed, not masked, but clean in a way that's almost startling. There's a reason for that, and it has nothing to do with secret recipes. It has to do with airflow. The Amish open their windows every single day, regardless of the season, for at least 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the evening. In the dead of January, when it's 11 degrees outside in Holmes County, Ohio, you'll still see Amish women cracking the kitchen window for 10 minutes while the bread is baking. Why? Because stale air is the #1 cause of household odor, and no amount of simmering cinnamon or charcoal absorbing is going to fix a house that hasn't had a proper air exchange in 6 months. Modern homes, especially those built after 1990 with tight insulation and double-pane windows, recycle the same air for weeks at a time. That air picks up cooking residue, skin cells, pet dander, off-gassing from furniture, formaldehyde from particle board, and dozens of other compounds, and it just sits there getting denser and staler. The Environmental Protection Agency has actually published data showing that indoor air is, on average, 2 to 5 times more polluted than outdoor air, and in some homes it can be up to 100 times worse. The Amish solved this problem without ever reading an EPA report. They just opened the windows because their grandmothers told them to. So here's your bonus tip, the one that costs absolutely nothing and works better than any product on this list. Twice a day, every day, open at least 2 windows on opposite sides of your house for 15 to 20 minutes. This creates a cross breeze that completely replaces the air in your home. Do it in the morning while you're making coffee, and do it again in the evening before bed. If it's cold outside, your heating system will recover within 30 minutes, and the energy cost is minimal compared to the health benefits. After about 3 days of doing this consistently, you'll walk into your home and notice the difference immediately. The air feels lighter, surfaces seem less dusty, even your sheets smell better when you climb into bed at night. Now let me circle back to something I mentioned earlier about the simmer pot, because there's a deeper history here that's worth knowing. The practice of simmering aromatic ingredients on a stove goes back at least to the 1600s in German-speaking regions of Europe, particularly in the Palatinate region where many Amish ancestors originated before fleeing religious persecution in the late 1600s and early 1700s. Records from that era describe housewives keeping a small iron pot on the back of the wood stove year-round, filled with whatever was in season: apple peels in autumn, pine needles in winter, lavender in summer, and lemon balm in spring. It wasn't decoration. It was a practical necessity in homes where laundry was washed once a week, bathing happened on Saturday nights, and 12 people might share 3 bedrooms. The simmer pot kept the air pleasant and, more importantly, it added humidity during dry winter months, which prevented the wood furniture and the human respiratory system alike from drying out and cracking. If you want to take the simmer pot to the next level, here's something the Amish grandmothers in Lancaster County still do. They add a single tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to the pot. Just 1 tablespoon. Not enough to smell, but enough to neutralize odor molecules in the steam itself. The acetic acid in the vinegar binds to alkaline odor compounds floating in your air, things like fish smells, garbage smells, and that lingering smell of fried food, and pulls them out of circulation. The cinnamon and citrus mask what's left, but the vinegar is doing the real work. Try it once, and you'll notice that your simmer pot suddenly seems 3 times more effective. Let's talk about something else that gets overlooked, and that's the role of fabric in your home's overall smell. The Amish change their curtains seasonally, washing them every 3 months at minimum, and they air out blankets and quilts on a clothesline once a week, even in winter. Fabric absorbs odor like nothing else in your home. Your curtains, your couch cushions, your decorative pillows, your area rugs, even your lampshades are all soaking up cooking smells, body odor, pet smells, and everything else that floats through the air. If you've ever walked into a friend's house and noticed it smells like their dinner from 3 nights ago, that's their fabric talking. The solution is simple. Once a month, take everything washable and wash it. Curtains, throw pillows, blankets, slip covers, everything. For items that can't be washed, like couches and mattresses, sprinkle baking soda generously over the surface, let it sit for at least an hour, and then vacuum it up thoroughly. The baking soda will pull out odors that have been trapped in the fibers for months or even years. There's another Amish trick that I have to share, and this one might surprise you. They keep small linen sachets filled with dried lavender, rose petals, or cedar shavings tucked inside every drawer, every closet, and under every couch cushion. These sachets, sometimes called scent bags or scent pillows, were traditionally made from leftover fabric scraps, sewn shut with a few tablespoons of dried botanicals inside. A single sachet costs maybe 20 cents to make and lasts about 6 months. You can refresh them by squeezing the bag gently, which releases new fragrance from the dried materials inside. If you have an old shirt you're about to throw out, cut it into squares. Fill each square with 2 tablespoons of dried lavender from your garden or from a bulk herb shop. Tie it shut with a piece of string and tuck it wherever you want a subtle scent. Linen closets, sock drawers, under the bathroom sink, inside coat pockets in your hall closet. Anywhere fabric lives, a sachet belongs. Now I want to address something that might be on your mind. You might be thinking, this all sounds great, but I have allergies, or I have pets, or I have small children, and I can't just be sprinkling herbs and essential oils everywhere. That's a fair concern, and here's where the Amish wisdom really shines. The original Amish freshening methods predate essential oils entirely. They used whole ingredients, fresh herbs, dried flowers, citrus peels, vinegar, baking soda, things that are gentle, food safe, and historically used around babies and animals without issue. If you're sensitive to fragrance, skip the essential oils and use the actual plant. A bowl of fresh apple peels in your kitchen smells beautiful and is completely hypoallergenic. A pot of simmering lemon slices and rosemary sprigs adds aroma without any concentrated compounds. Even the charcoal bowl trick is completely odorless and works for the most sensitive household members, including infants and elderly relatives with respiratory issues. There's also a counter-argument I want to address head-on. Some people will tell you that these old methods are nice but ineffective compared to modern air purifiers and plug-in fresheners. I want to push back on that hard. A study published in 2015 in the journal Air Quality, Atmosphere, and Health found that plug-in air fresheners release dozens of volatile organic compounds into your home, including formaldehyde, benzene derivatives, and phthalates, many of which are linked to respiratory irritation, hormone disruption, and in some cases long-term health concerns. Modern air purifiers, while genuinely useful, cost between $150 and $600 up front and require filter replacements every 3 to 6 months at $20 to $50 per filter. Over 5 years, a single air purifier can cost over $1,000 to operate. The Amish methods I've described in this video, taken together, will cost you under $30 a year and produce results that are honestly comparable for most household situations. That's not nothing. That's a real, meaningful difference in both your budget and your indoor environment. Let me give you one final tip that ties everything together, and it's something I learned from an elderly Amish woman named Sarah Miller who runs a small dry goods store in Berlin, Ohio. She told me that her mother and grandmother always followed what she called the 7-day rhythm. Every Monday was laundry day, which meant fresh linens and the whole house smelling like sun-dried fabric. Tuesday was baking day, which filled the house with bread and pie smells naturally. Wednesday was deep cleaning day, vinegar and baking soda everywhere. Thursday was airing day, when every window was opened and every blanket was hung outside. Friday was preparation day for the Sabbath, with simmer pots going and floors freshly mopped. Saturday was bathing and finishing touches. And Sunday was rest, when the house was its cleanest and freshest of the entire week. That rhythm, she said, is the real secret, not any single trick, but the consistent, repeated small actions that compound over time into a home that always smells good. You don't have to follow that exact schedule, but the principle applies. Pick 2 or 3 of the tricks from this video and build them into your weekly routine. Do them every week without fail. Within a month, your home will smell different. Within 3 months, people will start commenting on it when they visit. Within a year, you will have completely transformed the way your home feels and smells, and you'll have spent almost nothing to do it. So go open a window right now. Go sprinkle some baking soda on your carpet. Go simmer some apple peels on the stove while you finish watching the rest of my videos. Take action today, because the Amish way isn't about waiting for the right moment. It's about doing the simple thing right now, and then doing it again tomorrow and the day after, until clean and fresh becomes the natural state of your home.